Welcome, everyone. This is SehoPod episode 13. Thank you so much for watching. I've received such awesome support from friends, from community about SehoPod, and I'm just so pleased to be able to continue to have deep, awesome, meaningful, wonderful conversations with wonderful people, including today's guest. Introduce yourself, please.
My name's Allie, and yeah. Any more introduction?
I will continue for Allie. Allie, thank you for being here. Actually, thank you for having me here. This is Allie's abode at Boston College, and it's a nice place.
My spoons.
It's a nice prom, and this is Allie's spoons that we're using as microphones. Allie is a friend from home. I've known Allie since sophomore year of high school, and now we're at Boston College together, and we live probably less than 5 minutes away from each other, and I've tutored her younger brother in math, so I was at their house. I've had dinner with the family. I've had great conversations with Allie. We've been in multiple classes together in high school. And now we're here.
Wait,
And now
do you want me to introduce myself a little bit more than just Allie?
Yes.
Okay, you want to run it back? We can run it back. Or no, you want to keep that?
We can keep it.
Okay.
Just keep going.
I felt bad. I feel like you were doing all the introduction. Yeah, I feel like I have nothing more to say now, though.
Okay,
I feel
great.
like you said everything.
Nice.
I just felt bad while you were saying it.
Anything else you want to say that you should make known about yourself?
No.
No.
From Northvale, in Boston, liking Boston.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Starting the school year right.
Yeah. We're both sophomores here. You applied early decision 1 to Boston College.
Yeah.
Come say hi.
Chelsea,
say hi.
come.
Come say hi.
Chelsea,
Come say hi.
come,
on.
Chelsea.
Come say hi.
Yeah,
Come say
come. Say hi. Look, it's so official.
No, you gotta pop into
Chelsea, you have to
the
come
frame.
in now.
No, go come in. You gotta move it closer.
Yeah. She's media chair.
Do you see yourself? There you go.
Isn't
You
it
could
cool,
take a
Chelsea?
microphone.
Wait, what's happening?
You
Oh
can
my god, why is it
introduce
on a...
Isn't it funny?
Hi.
Wait, should everyone... Ine.
Ine.
Ine, look at the video.
Come say hi.
Say hi.
No, you gotta be good.
Look at the video. Look how cool.
Oh my! Wait, this is wait. I see people put on their shirts.
Yeah.
Wait, but isn't it more fun like this?
This is funny. So we're gonna start.
Yeah, we just started.
I start off so awkwardly. I hope it goes better than
You're good.
that. It literally. Okay.
You applied Boston College early decision 1. How'd you come across that decision?
I can't do it seriously with them here.
No, you just speak on your experiences.
Okay, so I applied BCED1. I toured a bunch of schools when were people touring schools in junior year. So I toured a bunch of schools. I toured in Boston, and I did BC and I think it was BU in one day. And so BU, I think I just had a really bad tour guide. But because I visited BU again, because I have friends there, and I was like, oh, this is so much better than what my tour was. And so whatever, I think my tour guide just did a not so good job. But then I went to BC and I was like, oh, this is so much different. And the weather was so nice, and the tour guide was so sweet, and she definitely knew her stuff. And so then I sort of wanted to just pick a school and just go with it, because I felt like I could just be fine anywhere. So I was like, okay, this is my school, and then I just committed to it. But that was really it. There was not much. I feel like I should have done more thinking before it.
But it worked out.
But it worked out. Everything. I
Yeah.
feel like everything works out. But yeah, I definitely like I sort of went into it blindly. I didn't know
Then what
much
did you
about it.
know about BC before coming here? Or what did you hear about BC? Like personally, I like always knew BC was on my list because I heard great things about the school.
Yeah. I had really not heard much.
Okay.
Like I knew there were like some kids like in the grade above us that had gone, and I knew like other people like who knew people who had gone to BC, and obviously it was like a good school, and I feel like that's sort of like all I cared about too. I was like, oh, like acceptance rate is 20% or whatever it was, and I was like, oh, like okay, like this is within my range, so I can like get in, but it's also like a good school,
Yeah.
and so I just applied here, and then that was really, but I really didn't know much of it. Like I knew it was Jesuit, and that was it. I didn't even know they had Newton campus, which I ended up on, which is like a campus that's like you have to get bused to. So I ended up there. But I didn't even know they had that, you know?
Interesting.
But it all worked out.
Yeah.
It's working out.
Yeah. I'm going to jump straight into the first question that I mentioned to you before about social life. So I've known you for quite a number of years now. No, I've still known you more during high school, like time-wise. But
What do you mean time-wise?
like I knew you for like 2.5, 3 years in high school versus
Oh, like
a year
2.5. Yeah. Gotcha.
But I see that you have really found great close friends here at BC. You feel like you're a part of this community. You feel socially secure. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So what have been the biggest changes socially in your life from home/high school to now/Boston/college?
So, like just like friends wise or
Friends wise,
like how I interact with people
how you
differently?
interact with people, your mindset, your attitude, your beliefs about friendship,
Yeah.
community. Yeah.
So, going into BC, obviously I had Ine, but I'm not sure if you know this, but like I didn't really talk to Ine in high school.
Yeah.
I think I told you this, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't really talk to her in high school, but like we were like pretty close in middle school.
Yeah.
But it was like end of senior year, and like we had just like reached out to each other and like, so like we both know we're going to BC, like would you want a room together? It's just like a familiar person, because I heard like a bunch of like roommate horror stories of people ending up with like some weird roommates. So I was like, oh, I don't even want to like go through the whole like Instagram thing and like trying to find like my own roommate, and like I don't even know how they're gonna be. But I was like, I know Ina, like I've known her in middle school, and so you know, I get to school, like me and Ina had only met like once over the summer just to like talk about housing, but we get to the school, and then it's like we hit it off, obviously, like because we had been good friends in middle school. And so I was like super connected to the hip with Ina, which was so nice, and I'm so thankful for that, because I think freshman year definitely would have been rougher without Ina. But so yeah, so it was sort of like the same beginning of freshman year, because it was like I had someone from home, and then you were here, who had like so many other people from school are here and in like the Boston area. So I definitely like still felt like socially I was pretty much the same like that first semester, especially like with the people that I was choosing to hang out with. But at the same time, like while that was like working for me, like I knew I needed to meet other people too. And so I did try to like put myself more out there, and I tried like talking to more people and stuff like that, which is like outside my comfort zone. I don't normally like, I feel like I'm not normally too comfortable talking to like new people, but I was like trying to like in my classes and stuff like that, and like some of them totally flopped. Like I don't even like know where they are today, like at school, or like sometimes I see them and I'm like, but I feel like I was just talking to a lot of new people. And then I met Ashley, who you know Ashley, and Ashley was like my first like close friend that like wasn't from high school here. And I met Ashley through Ine, but I love Ashley. And Ashley was so just so different from everyone that we had grown up with, like from home. And so I was like, oh, like it was so cool. And it was a totally different type of friendship. Like I've never had it before. Like I remember like me and my friends, I love my friends from home, but we just never fought that much back home. And I don't know why, like we just didn't. But like I remember I got into like a little like fight with Ashley, and I was like, oh, like this is different, like this is weird. But like it was fine, because I still love Ashley. Like I love who she stands, like what she stands for and everything. So it was like different in that sense. And so, you know, and then I kept like making like other friends like that, where it's just like, it was just like different types of friendships. I feel like all my life, like I felt like I had to have like one type of friendship, and it had to be like a really close type of friendship. And I'm so thankful for like I had those friendships in high school, and they're all very, very close. But I didn't realize too, like I could have like different types of friendships, and I could still call them friends. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like you're very good at that.
Yeah, I had a like freakishly similar conversation the other day. I forget with who, but I think similarly, maybe different from you, but like in my own experience, I kind of thought the same, where I had to like if I pursued a friendship, or if I had a friendship, then that person had to be like a certain like proximity in terms of closeness, and we would have to continue to develop that closeness, and like at one point with enough time and with enough hanging out, they'd have to be like a best friend for life. But
or like you would need to have like deep conversation.
yes,
I remember,
exactly.
like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing, but I remember like it was like the first month of freshman year, like, you know, I was like talking to like all these new people.
High school?
No, here. And I remember I was like talking to all these new people in my classes, and like right off the bat, like I was trying to have like all these deep conversations with them.
Yeah.
And like some of them reciprocated, you know, like God bless them, like, you know, they're so sweet, but like some of them definitely did not. And I'm like, that's just because like they just weren't that type of friend.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to be. Like they could have
Yeah.
just been something different. But instead I think I like, maybe like scared them off a little bit.
Yeah.
And like, or I just didn't need to do that.
Yeah. Certain people you will like not everyone is meant to be your friend. Not everyone is meant to be my friend.
And that's fine.
And not all your friends are meant to be my friends.
Yeah.
Like that's totally fine. It's really a matter of like it's really about just like I don't know. No, I think it starts with knowing yourself first. Like having a sense of personal identity and knowing who you are, so that like you can be truly yourself, genuinely, so that when you go out there you just are yourself. And you will notice that there are people who are, you know, you just vibe with, you're cool, but then inevitably if you cast a wide enough net, you'll find people who vibe with who you are genuinely, and then you also connect with them for who they are.
Yeah. And I think you can find people that vibe with like different parts of you too.
Totally.
Because I know like you know, I'm super close to like all my roommates, and I think we all vibe with like different parts of each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have like other friends too that like aren't my roommates.
Yeah.
And like that's like I feel like I'm a different way with them. But I feel like that's like fine. Like they're
Yeah.
all like I feel like how I act with each of them is all like part of who I am.
Go into that.
What
like,
do you mean?
Like with, okay, let's say Ali, you're Ali, Ine, Ashley, and Chelsea, who are your three roommates here.
Yeah.
Let's just start with them. Like, what are the different ways you guys vibe?
Okay, well, Chelsea I got closer with like end of last year. Obviously close with now. I feel like Chelsea's very chill. She's very chillaxed. I feel like I can have a lot of like just like end of the day, just little talks with Chelsea, you know, what she's going on in her life, what's going on in my life. It's very just like easygoing. Ashley is like, I don't even know how to explain how I am with her, but it's just a different, I don't know, it's like a different type of humor I use with her too, I think. Like we've been real into Drag Race. So we've been watching a lot of that. And I know like not everyone's into that. But like I feel like Ashley's very, or like I love like the artsy type stuff, and Ashley like musical stuff. And Ashley's definitely like I can get real into that with, you know, because she'll show me all like the songs that you guys have done and everything, which I feel like is so cool.
Yeah.
And then Ine is just like, I don't know. Ine is just like someone I can just always talk to, because she's my direct roommate, so I feel like it's just like it's easy to just like say anything to her.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's vice versa with her too.
That's super sweet.
Yeah.
All right, go back to what you were saying before about figuring out that not all friends have to be a specific type of close friend. Did you have anything more with that?
I think that's all. Like it's just, I feel like before, like when I was like little, or not even little, like high school, I remember like I would be talking to my mom about like, pretend I talked to so and so today, and I would just like use their name. My mom would be like, "Oh, like your friend?" And I'd always be like, "No, like not my friend. Like it's just so and so." And my mom's like, "Oh, like but you talked to them in class?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, so like a friend?" And I'm like, "No, like they're not my friend. Like I have 3 friends and that's it, you know?" And I feel like now I'm more like, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, like they're my friend."
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
have like a class friend. I have a friend that I only get lunch with. I have a friend I literally see like once a month. Like and those are fine. They're all friends.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. I think
But yeah.
I've been able to similarly, and I think it's just also the fact that here it's a bigger community that like I find myself very easily saying, "Oh yeah, that's, my friend
Yeah.
so and so." When the like our proximity, if that were to translate, when I was in high school, I wouldn't quite be so easily calling them friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that again that has a lot to do with how like big a college community is, specifically our school. So yeah, it just makes things easier to call people a friend, and who doesn't like being called a friend.
I
You
feel
know,
like yeah.
yeah,
Like why not?
yeah. As much
It
as
doesn't
I
harm no one.
exactly, yeah, it doesn't. It's only in my opinion, only does good,
That's how
unless
I
that
feel.
person for some reason has something really against you, which that's okay too.
That's okay.
Yeah. Going back to your closest friends here, another question which you kind of touched on, but like why? And I guess it's kind of hard to put into words, but if you were to put a reason as to why you're closest with them, and maybe you could think about like the characteristics or qualities of your friendships, of your best friendship at home, and how maybe the best friendships you have here are similar or different to that.
I feel like they're similar in that like I got close to both like groups of friendships just like by being with them all the time. Like my friends from home are like I've known them literally since like the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And so we were always just together and we were always just doing things together, and I feel like that definitely like makes people closer. And I know you have your friends, like your Norwood friends, and like I feel like most of the people from like the 4 towns like have their core group of friends like from their town. So, I have my Northvale friends. And then I feel like the same thing like similarly happens like here. Like a lot of my friends that I'm pretty close with now we're from Newton. So it's that little like community, like we were just always together, we're always at the dining hall together. It was very easy to be together.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that definitely helped us get closer. Because I feel like at the end of the day, like most people, as long as both people are like respectable people and they're kind to others, I feel like most people can get pretty close. You just need like the time and like the proximity.
Yeah, totally. One thing I mentioned before or asked you of is whether these days you're more introverted or extroverted. I think and I did ask you in high school, and you said you were an introvert. And I want to know, you did.
I feel like I don't remember that.
You did. I very much remember you saying you're an introvert. And I want to know how that has changed, or what your perspective on introversion, extroversion has changed since.
I feel like generally, I feel like labels are kind of like a funny thing. Like at least those types of labels.
Sure.
I feel like because it's like, I feel like most people aren't just like one thing. Like I feel like you're an exception. I feel like you're definitely an extrovert. But like I feel like everyone has their moments. Like I'm sure like you have your moments like where you like you don't want to go out a certain night. And I feel like that could be characterized as introverted.
Yeah. I think, yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean?
I think just like very
Like
generally, broadly speaking.
I feel like broadly, like in high school, like I would say like, okay, like yeah, like I was an introvert, but I think I definitely still liked like going out. I just maybe not like every, I was gonna say not every single week, but I don't even think like maybe not like every single month. Yeah, it was like something like that. But definitely towards the end of high school, I think I liked going out more and like hanging out with my friends more, and I know we definitely did all that. But I feel like, I don't know, in college, I feel like there were times, like especially in like freshman year, where I wasn't hanging out with as many people, and then I just noticed that like affected my mood deeply. Because I feel like the difference is like, I feel like I was able to get away with being more introverted, at least like with people at our school, at home, because I always had like my family to go back to. And so like I'm really close to my family. And so I feel like they're like my second friends, and so I'd always be talking to them. So I never
Yeah.
felt like I was lacking something.
Yeah.
But like I feel like in college, if you're not hanging out with people, like what are you doing? Like you're just sort of like by yourself. And I feel like that can get very isolating, and there definitely were periods where like I hadn't called my parents in a while, or I hadn't been like talking to as many people as I probably should have been, and it definitely negatively affected me. And so I feel like going into second semester, I was like, okay, like I actually need to make sure like I'm seeing people every single day, more than just like, you know, my little friend group that I had. And so I feel like that helped me like step out a little bit more, because I was like, oh, it's almost like I need to, like, or else like I'm gonna have like negative effects if I don't. And so I think that helped me. But people are also just fun to hang out with, you know, and I feel like they don't always have to be in like the normal scene. Like obviously like I like going to parties and I like going out, but like I feel like I can get like my like people fix, so to say, by like not having to go to a party. I feel like sometimes like me and Ashley watched Drag Race the other night, or like other week ago, like I literally just hung out with like one of my RA friends while she was on duty. Not RA friends, a friend who is an RA. But and that was just cool, and like that like fulfilled me for those nights.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The definition of introvert versus extrovert that I want to pose is like, on extroversion, how much do you enjoy putting yourself out there? Because I don't think going out or a desire or like fulfilling that is like constitutes being an extrovert.
You think just like wanting to see
Meet
people
people,
or
see
meet
people.
people. Oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what characterizes extrovert. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you just have to catch me on the right day. I feel like there's some days like I love meeting new people. Like when Joe brought his like roommate the other week, I was like, oh, so excited to see him. I was like, oh, I've heard such good things. Like I can't wait to meet him. But there's definitely times too, like where I'm going to class and like, oh, I definitely don't want to be like talking to any new people. Like I just want to stay with like my little friend group I have in this class already.
Yeah, and I think that's everyone. It's just like varying degrees
Like on the scale
of that. Yeah.
I feel like my scale has always been the same. I feel like I just wouldn't actually like take the initiative to actually talk to people. I feel like I always wanted to like talk to new people, but I just never like took that step.
Sure. Okay.
Before.
So someone of your wherever you are on that spectrum, how did you, like, what was your mindset, or what were the actual like habits or actions you followed coming to college, where it's like, I have to make new friends, like what do I do? What did you do?
I feel like I didn't think that, like, or
Really?
I did think that like beginning of the year, like a little bit, but I didn't like actually like implement anything. And so it was just like, but then second semester, like I feel like it just sort of happened naturally a little bit first semester, and I was just lucky. You know, I was lucky to have like, you know, like I knew you, I knew Ina, I knew like a whole bunch of other people around here, and then like they were able to show me their friends, and I feel like so I was lucky in that sense. But I think second semester I was like, okay, like I need to up my game. I need to like actually like put myself out there more so than what I was already. Because I think first semester I was still putting myself out there more than I had in high school, but I was like, okay, like this still isn't that much. Like I definitely can be doing more. And so I feel like I joined Ascend, which is, you know, Ascend, but it's like the all girl, small group. And I met like a lot of cool people through there. I did like, we have so many retreats here. And so I did a good amount of retreats too. That's actually not good.
What
amount.
Other than 40
It was just for Ascend, actually.
Oh, okay.
But that was a retreat.
Yeah.
But it was just like, those were cool, and I met like people who I still talk to today. And so, yeah. I feel like it's just like, I feel like I just had to come to a realization. I feel like anything that was like holding me back to like talking to people before was like, oh, like I didn't know if they were like gonna think I was like peculiar or like odd or whatever. Because I think I can definitely come off like a little like socially awkward sometimes with new people. Sometimes, you know what I mean? But so I feel like I would always be thinking that like, oh, like this person's like way too cool for school for me to be talking to, or like they're just like not gonna like want to talk to me. And like there definitely are people like that still, but I feel like less and less as you get.
I think very few people.
Very
are like
few
that.
people, and I feel like I realized that, and I'm like, even if there are people like that, like, and we were talking about this before, but it's just like, it's just not my issue if they're like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just like coming to that realization is like, if there is someone like that and I'm talking to them and they're just completely uninterested in like what I'm having to say to them, or they just like don't want to be friends with me, like that's fine. Like that's not something I should be worried about.
Yeah.
You know?
I had to reinforce the idea coming into college that like no one is like, I mean, in life, in the world, no one is superior to another person. And I think you know, in any, I mean, even not even in college and school, but even like out there in the world, in the workplace and whatever, like that idea is always lingering. But once you remove that, and also once you just have like grace for people and like really just like be open and understanding, like people are not super scary.
No, they're not.
Yeah. And even the ones who you say are like, you think you're, I know, because I
feel like I use that now.
No, but I've had those thoughts too.
Yeah.
But just realizing that like it's not ever.
It's never. I feel like it's never that deep. I feel like that's been like my philosophy recently.
Yeah.
Like it's not that deep.
Yeah.
Like this podcast at first, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, but I'm like, it's not that deep. Like, who actually cares? Like,
Yeah.
You know.
Wait, you said that.
What?
You said that your life philosophy these days is not that deep.
Yeah.
I think you said that in the car on the way to see You're in Town.
Oh.
Maybe. You
Probably.
Said, yeah, I just remember you saying that.
Because I feel like nothing's that deep. And
No,
someone
it wasn't.
What did I say?
It was something I saw on social media. Never
Oh.
mind. But continue on.
But yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not that deep. Like nothing's that deep. Like
Yeah.
I feel like whenever I'm like stressed about anything or like I feel like a lot of times like I'll have a social interaction. I already told you this, but like I have a social interaction and I'll like replay it in my head and I'm like, oh, like this was so embarrassing that I said that, or like, oh, this person definitely thought I was weird for saying that. But like I feel like to just like shake that thought away, I'm like, it's just not that deep. And if that person, like most people are so like just consumed with like what they're doing anyway, but even if that person did care, like they're kind of the weird ones for that. Like, why are they caring so much about what someone else is saying at one moment?
I agree.
You know, as long as you're like just a good person.
Yeah.
I feel like everything's fine.
Yeah. Moving from friends to now talking about family. So, since I became friends with you, very soon I saw how much family meant to you, and that was one of the first things we bonded over. Oh, like how much our families mean to us, and then actually experiencing that, like getting to know each member of your immediate family. What does family mean to you?
I told you not to ask me these types of questions. I don't know. Like, I feel like family's just like, it sounds like so cliche, but it's just like, they're just everything. Like,
Yeah.
You know, like family's just everything. I feel like I'm so thankful to have had such an amazing family. And I feel like my parents were maybe not so fortunate to grow up, I think, in like the bestest of circumstances, like all around. But I feel like they were very like active in their thinking and being like, okay, like I didn't like this aspect of my growing up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to change this for how I raise my kids. And I feel like it's just like, they just did such an amazing job. And I always think about that. And I'm like, they really just did exactly, like they executed it perfectly, like what they wanted to do. And yeah, and I think because of that, like I just have so much respect for my family. They've done so much for me, my siblings. My siblings are so cool. They're so smart. They're so interesting. Sometimes I think they're more smart and interesting than I am. But like my brother's so funny. He's so athletic. He's so just naturally smart. Isabel is like insane. Like she's just so smart at everything. Like she's actually crazy with that type of stuff. And she's so like curious to learn and to actually like be the best at like everything she does. And it's so, I don't know, they're just so inspiring. They're
That's
so
awesome.
cool.
That's
So
awesome.
I feel like it's hard not to be in that type of environment
Yeah.
and not look up to those people.
Yeah.
I feel like you have it similar too.
Yeah.
I know you've talked about like your siblings.
Yeah. I love my siblings. I
your
love my family.
parents.
I like I love the way my parents raised me, and like, yeah, just made me who I am. And there have been times recently where like me and my brothers have just been able to, obviously now because we're at an older age and more mature, but just be able to affirm our parents and the way that they raised us.
Yeah.
And that has been super awesome for them to hear and also for us to share. And obviously things weren't perfect. There's times when they
No.
messed up, obviously plenty more times when we messed up. But it's also so cool, specifically with my parents, like seeing how, and I hope this doesn't come off in like a weird way, but like seeing them grow up too as we've grown up.
Yeah,
Like
that's
to
so cool.
Like to think that I'm 18 years old, that means like my parents have experienced 18 years of adulthood since having me. And like there's a, like we're ever growing, constantly
Yeah.
learning, changing people. And I can see how my parents have grown through raising us and also just going through life. And that's also awesome to see that like, my parents are humble and always like listening and also like finding how they can be better versions of themselves. Like I see that in my parents now, which is really awesome. And then my brothers, just cool to see them grow too, because I have 3 brothers, so we've always been super close and like a gang of brothers. And seeing our relationships grow, like seeing how much it was always like me and my older brother were like a pair, and then my younger brothers were a pair. So then that was always familiar. But then when older brother left to college, then it's me and younger brother who were now a pair. And we as did all theater together in high
Yeah.
school and spent a lot of time together. So we really got close. And now seeing my youngest brother, he's in high school now, which is crazy. And seeing like all these experiences that he's going through that I went through, and me like being able to like give more, I don't know, like more like real world advice about like people and like
That's
friendships.
weird.
And,
Like I know with my little sister
like
too.
I didn't have not that I need to have those conversations with him, but like there was no like reason for those type of conversations or that
Yeah.
dynamic in the past. And all of a sudden now like he's growing up.
Have you had like, because I know I had this like with Isabel, like my little sister, but I remember like it was like this within this last year, like I've just heard her say some things, and I'm like you're thinking those types of things, and I'm
Yeah.
like obviously like no doubt, like I remember like being in 8th grade and like thinking like similar thoughts, but I feel like when you're like, I don't know, like you're especially like the littlest sibling, I
Yeah.
feel like you're just like, oh, like you're just like a little baby.
Yeah.
But like have you like heard him like say something
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, like what just came out of your, and not like he said something
no,
explicit or anything.
no, it's just like so profound.
yeah, like just like thoughts. And,
yeah.
yeah, that is cool to see.
It's like they're actually like
Yeah.
like a human, like
Yeah.
with thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. And then I see like my mom will send like baby photos in the family group chat just like randomly. And there's so many of the youngest one just like so little, so cute. It's like, dang, like I remember him when he was like that.
Yeah. I think that's the coolest part.
Yeah. Yeah. How old was Isabel how old were you when Isabel was born?
We're like 6-7 years apart.
Okay.
So I remember her. Like Evan,
Yeah.
I don't remember as much. Like
Yeah.
when he was little, I remember
Yeah.
like little bits, but I was like
Yeah.
still pretty little. But Isabel, I remember, and so she's just like always the
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
It's
When
just
me and Chiho have 4.5 year age gap. So yeah, I remember too. Yeah, that's awesome.
it's just cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Going off of that, one of the first conversations we had about family was on values and inheriting values from family. What are like the top defining values, personal values that you think you've inherited from your parents, family experiences?
I feel like they definitely like emphasized always just like, I feel like at most families, but I feel like my family definitely emphasized just like being kind, like to everyone, like and like genuinely kind,
Yeah.
like actually like taking your time like with everyone and like. Are we running off?
No. I'm just checking the notes again.
Oh, yeah. No, but like just genuinely like treating everyone like one with like the most like utmost respect. And I definitely didn't do that always like growing up, and I reflect on like moments where like maybe I was like a little like rude to people or whatever. But I feel like now like I really like emphasize like treat everyone like equally and with as much respect as I can give them. I feel like they're very big on, like, my parents are very hard workers. Like, they definitely, like, got to where they are today, like, just through, like, sheer hard work and, like, practicality. Like, they see an issue, like, they're like, okay, like, don't complain about it. Don't stress about it too much. Like, obviously, like, you can have your moment, but let that moment be a moment and then let it pass. And then find out, like, how you're going to fix this issue. So I feel like I definitely was, like, raised with that type of mindset, too. And I feel like overall just, like, just being calm, you know, like, life is so cool. Life has such amazing things to offer. And so, like, why are you going to be upset all the time, you know?
Yeah. And you have a calm and peaceful demeanor about yourself. Was there a time when you didn't?
I feel like you told me this before, and I feel like when you told me that, I was like, oh, like, I feel like I'm not very calm. Like, all the time. Like, I feel like I'm definitely, like, kind of, like a little, like, at times. But, like, I don't know. I feel like, I obviously think during COVID, I feel like that was, like, a weird time for everyone. But I definitely was, like, a little, like, high-strung then, like, looking back at it.
You were high-strung during COVID?
I feel.
Really?
Like, just, like, thinking. Like, I feel like when, like, not being calm is just, like, either, like, being, like, thinking about things too much. I feel like I don't consider that being calm. You know, thinking about things too much when you don't need to think about them.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, thinking about them is not getting you anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it
Unless
into
it,
words.
you know, translated into action and...
Yeah. But if you're just thinking to think and you're just, like, in a cycle of thoughts, I don't think that's beneficial. And I don't think that's calm. And, you know.
Depends on what you're thinking about.
No, it depends. But I feel like a lot of the times, like, when I would get into, like, this cycle of, like...
What were you thinking about?
It would just be, like, I don't know, just, like, negative things. It would be, like, oh, like, I'm not smart or whatever. Like, whatever.
Okay.
It was, like, dumb little things.
Yeah, that stuff.
And, like, that stuff, like, thinking about that over and over and over again, like, is not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I feel like... Yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Just got into a tangent. But I think just, like, being able to, like, let things go overall. My dad's very good at that.
Yeah. What does that look like in action? Like, letting things go?
Like pretend... Like, I don't know. Like, someone just, like, does one thing to annoy you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pretend, like, someone talks over you.
Yeah.
I've done that multiple times. But, like, pretend someone, like, talks over you. Like, I know that gets me upset sometimes. And it's, like, not being, like, oh, like, this person stinks. Why do they talk over me? Like, oh, I'm so upset about this right now. It's just being, like, okay. And just, like, sort of letting it just, like, pass. Like, because, like, I know I'm not going to be feeling like that tomorrow. So, like, why am I going to even, like, focus on it for more than, like, 10 seconds now?
Yeah.
Or even just, like, relationships, like, with people.
Yeah.
Like, why am I going to be upset about something that happened, like, with someone now?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of it?
Yeah.
You know? I feel like I said, you know, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. What does family look like for you in the future?
Like, my own family?
Your own family.
I've talked about this with my friends before, but I feel like if I could have, like, a family now, like, I would. And if I could still, like, you know, finish school, obviously, like, get a job, like, I would have a family now.
I would agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like weird. I feel like I reach, like, but I sort of been feeling this for a while, I think. But I feel like especially recently, I'm like, oh, I could totally just have a family now.
So, like, your maternal instinct is just on fire.
Ooh,
right
I
now.
wouldn't say that. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. But
What, to say that your maternal
I don't
instinct
like
is
how
on
you
fire
say- I
right
don't
now?
like-
That's not crazy to say.
No, I just want a family. I wouldn't say that. That makes me feel weird. But yeah, obviously want to have family, want to have kids. I do. You know what I think about so much? I'm not sure if I talked about this with you yet, but I think about this so much because, like, I saw how my parents were able to, like, turn around, like, their own, what happened with their family and, like, make such, like, a great family that like I was able to experience, I think about like how can I improve that? Like they did so much of the improving. Like I feel like I can only just stay at a constant. I feel like I can only like be at a constant or like go worse. Cuz I feel like they've just like set the bar so high. So I feel like I do think about things like that. Like more so now. I feel like before like I would think about like, oh, I just want to have a family. I think it was like a little more selfish. Like I just like want to have a family to just have a family. But I feel like now I think about like I still want to have a family obviously, but I'm like, oh, there's definitely a lot more things
So why
that
do you
come
want
with it.
why do you want a family now?
You know, I think about that still. Like I'm like, is it selfish to want to have a family? Like I feel like I don't think so, but I feel like you can also make an argument that it is.
It's like I mean this is like, we won't dive too deep into the rabbit hole, but it's like if you have kids and raise them, like yeah, like why are you doing it?
Yeah, like for what?
Yeah.
Because like obviously like
But that just gets into like existentiality.
No, it does.
'Cause it's
So
like,
then I
why-
try not to think about it
Yeah.
too much because I've definitely like I've thought about
Well,
it.
because
a
it's
couple
like,
times.
why are we here on this earth?
And you're gonna experience issues and like why would you want to bring someone else
Yeah. And
into those issues?
well, I'll just say it, if there's no purpose of life, there's no purpose of having kids. Because there's no purpose of continuing life if there's no purpose of life.
I know. I feel like the only argument I can make is just like you're gonna have them just so like you can experience the happiness and so they can experience happy. Because obviously I did not live
That's
a
a fair
miserable
point.
life.
Yeah.
You know, like I experienced a lot of happiness in my life,
Yeah.
and so it's like just being able to give that
Yeah.
to someone.
So if for someone, I mean, I don't know if you would say the purpose of life is to be happy, but for someone who believes that, then yeah, you can make an argument that if you have a kid, then it's more happiness for you, and then also for someone to be able to experience happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like I would say that actually. The
Okay.
purpose of
Yeah.
life.
Great.
To just be happy.
Yeah. That's
Just
the purpose
enjoy
of life
life.
for you. Enjoy life. Be happy.
Yeah.
What makes you happy?
I don't know. You asked this question one time when my dad was driving us back home, and I remember I said, and my dad makes fun of me still for it, but I'm not sure if you
From
remember.
your response
from
in
my
that car ride?
response.
Okay.
But I remember I said something like, "Oh, I just like being in the sun," and like I feel like I still stand by that though. Like I do, like I love the sun.
Mm-hmm. That's not a
You know,
bad
like,
answer.
like I think the sun just makes me happy, like when it's sunny outside, and like especially like at BC and everyone's just like sitting outside on the quad in the grass. I feel like that's just like happy to me. Hanging out with family is happy. Laughing is happy. I don't know. I like dance. I like those things. It's very
Yeah.
they're very like simple. There's this actually like this not documentary. It was sort of like a little documentary. It was on YouTube, and it was this like they were following like this like tribe from Africa, and they had like little contact like with like what we know is like civilization, whatever. And like I remember they asked them like a question about like what makes them happy in life, and I was fully expecting like something to be like super, it was gonna be something so deep and meaningful, like they're gonna like provide me with all this like context and stuff like that. But the person literally just said like, oh, like I'm happy like when we get to catch food and eat. And I was like, like sometimes it's just that simple. Like I feel like happiness can be like just very like simple things. I don't think it has to come from like, I don't think happiness rarely comes from like very complex things. I feel like mostly it is just like pretty simple,
It's the
little.
simple
It's like
things.
little things,
Mm-hmm.
like just eating. Like I love to eat.
Me too.
So I feel like I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what makes you happy.
What makes me happy? That's a good question.
Keep licking my lips. They're so dry. I need like Aquaphor.
I have chapstick if you need.
It's kind of hard, no?
Yeah. No, I got it. Jesus, family, friends, love.
I feel like love's a cop-out answer. I feel like love's in like all those things.
Yeah. So I wrapped up all those in love.
Got it.
And then outside of that, food,
Yeah.
the sun, exercise,
Just Dance.
just dance.
Clothes out of the dryer.
Oh, you're getting some really niche stuff here. I was gonna say more like music, performing, conversation. Conversation makes me greatly happy. Yeah. What makes me most happy is people, though, and relationships. So Jesus, family, friends.
In that order.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. What are you passionate about?
Staying in the sun. I feel like that's it. Like, I feel like I'm just like passionate about like anything that's like brings happiness. Like those are my passions.
Like,
I feel like it's ever changing.
Yeah.
It's never like fixed.
Yeah, but even like I'm not saying it doesn't even have to be passionate about race cars, whatever. Like something like a topic. Like, is there anything like abstract that you're passionate about?
I don't know.
Like a virtue or a value, a moral good.
Moral good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I'm really trying to. I feel like I have an answer, but like I can't like put it into words. Like I'm always like curious. I feel like there's this thing like I did in like Pulse class, and it was a prompt. It was like, who are you obligated to? And it just made me think about a lot of things. Because at first, like, you know, like, the essay, I was like... Because it was the essay, that was, like, the whole thing. And at first, I was like, oh, like, my family, for yada, yada, yada reasons, whatever. And then, like, my Pulse professor, like, responded back to me, and he was like... Because Pulse is, like, also, like, has the service component. Like, we're going to be going to community service. And he's like, oh, but, like, are you going to feel obligated to the people you're serving at community service? And he was like saying like how they haven't done anything for you. And I feel like I was like, oh, like good point. I was like, I definitely will feel obligated to them. And I do feel obligated to them. You know, I'm doing it right now. And I'm like, they haven't done anything for me. And I feel like just like that whole thought of like why people do things for others, I feel like that's just something that's like been on my mind recently. So I guess you can say like I'm passionate about just like better understanding that, or just like the connection that like people have for one another.
Yeah.
Like why it is.
Yeah.
You know, like why am I able to like have those little like tense moments with Ashley, but like I love Ashley.
Yeah.
Like why is that?
Yeah.
You know.
Are you obligated to the people you'll be serving for Pulse?
Yeah, I feel like I'm obligated, and like, don't you feel like if you're like in a club, like you feel obligated to like the people like in those
Sure.
club.
Why are you obligated to those?
But that's
people?
what I don't understand. I don't know
Okay.
why. Like, would you know why? Like, would you have like an answer that you can wrap it like in a bow and like so you have an answer?
Not so much wrap it in a bow, but like I have an answer.
not so nice, but
it goes back to faith for me. It goes back to purpose for me.
yeah.
What's my purpose in life? My purpose is to receive and understand true love, which I believe to be the love of God, the love of Jesus, and know it and understand it so deeply that I can then can't help but to share it and share it meaningfully to others so that hopefully they might understand it as well.
Yeah.
So if that translates to service, then that would be like that I have already like, and what I was saying before at dinner, like my worth, my source of love, everything is already like from Jesus, so I can just like, that is kind of like an eternal well that I can continue to draw from. And like, what good is it for me to contain that if I can just like
Yeah.
share that?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
It's a valid response.
Thanks. What do you want to be when you grow up, Allie? Any development and thoughts and ideas? You're a computer science major, is that right? What do you want to do with your computer science degree?
I don't know. I feel like all that stuff, I feel like the same way like how I picked Boston College, I'm like, it'll all work out. I feel like as long as like you're putting yourself like where you need to be.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm doing my work.
I think I'm similar. I think I'm similar in that way to you. BC maybe had a bit more thought than you, but with my major, again, maybe had a bit more thought. But like I'm an econ major, but like I'm not tied down to an econ degree and having to follow a career trajectory that will like best utilize what I study. Like I'm not changing my major because like I enjoy my studies and I'm already at a point where I feel that I can continue to like enjoy economics for the rest of college as well as take other classes. But yeah, I'm not tied down to that idea or any certain career trajectory or path. I agree.
Yeah, like just be a good person. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions or thoughts from me?
You have to have a count.
A what?
A count.
From you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm like counting in my head.
Yeah.
Anyway, questions for you.
I can count myself when I edit.
Why did you start this podcast?
It's a great question, and it happens to appear at around this time of the episode when I explain why I started the podcast. Yeah.
I haven't actually watched the episode.
That's completely fine. I don't expect anyone to.
I've watched bits and pieces.
But that's what I said. Okay. So that's what I said. Okay. Then this will go into why I started the podcast. Okay. Again, I said it when I was explaining this idea to you, that it's just a selfish excuse to have deep, meaningful, awesome conversations with my friends. So honestly, I don't expect anyone to watch it. If they do, that's awesome. And I think more just creating an environment and space where, obviously the conversations we have off camera, which are most everyday conversations, are also great and awesome, and that's why I'm friends with you. But this creates for a unique experience where we're kind of like, a camera is on, we're being recorded, this is being published online. So that creates a more like thoughtful kind of mindset. Like you want to think about what words you're saying because they will be published. You can see it. Other people can see it. And I think that creates kind of like a fixed posture and dynamic, which creates for some really cool conversation that otherwise maybe would not happen if this environment was not set up. And like you said before, just be able to look back at any moment and kind of see like what were we talking about, where were we at.
That's why I agreed to do this actually ultimately. Because I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like look back at this like when I'm like 30.
Yeah.
If YouTube like even still around.
Yeah.
And just like be like, oh, like what was I thinking then?
Yeah. Totally. So to sum up, to have deep and meaningful conversations with friends in an environment that encourages that, and then to be able to look back. And so, yeah.
You should have some older guests.
I should.
Or like teachers. You think you can have any teachers?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about over the summer, but I just couldn't. And then some professors here would be cool too.
Mm-hmm. There's
and just people I know,
cool ones.
like adults.
Or even some of the parents.
Yeah, we're talking about friends. Yeah. Friends, parents would be cool. Teachers, professors. Like anyone I know at church would be cool. My parents would be cool.
You should get one of your parents.
Yeah, my parents would like to for sure. And but those episodes would be in Korean, which that would be.
You would have to translate. Just be,
well, or maybe it's just for us, and whoever listens just has to learn Korean.
It's like an incentive.
Yeah. I just texted. Funny enough, you say older people because I just texted a man named Father Richard, who I met first semester at Boston Symphony Hall and he's BC alum. 1968, something like that. And he just happened to be there listening to a concert. He was a retired Jesuit, and I had brunch with him one time last semester.
That's cool.
So I just checked on him again, and he's like I said, we should meet up soon. So someone like that.
I feel like that could be cool.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like we're so young, like we're sort of like stupid in certain ways.
It was really cool
like an
hearing
older
him talk
person.
about BC all those years ago. Yeah, because like he's still obviously it's college, so like he remembers all those experiences and what life was like. So it's cool.
It's cool because it's like I know like college is gonna be something I'm gonna look back onto and be like, oh yeah, that was such like a formative experience.
Because it is. Yeah.
It is. And I feel like I've definitely like grown so much.
Totally.
That I feel like I'm like, oh, like would I have grown this much like had I not gone to college?
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is cool.
This was a good podcast. Good conversation.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, remarks?
No.
What do you is there anything you want to say to your future self if you look back, or anything that you want to say that may change? Like, my favorite color is this, and then your future self will be like, what?
I don't have favorite colors. I make it up.
Okay.
My future self's going to know this already, but I don't have favorite colors. I make it up each time that someone asks me.
Do you have a favorite food?
No, I just love food.
Okay.
I don't have a favorite
Great.
anything, I feel.
Great.
I'm watching Drag Race a ton right now, though.
Okay. Anything else that
That's
might
for future Allie.
change? You're not on social media much. That probably won't change.
No. Probably will be less.
Probably less.
Doubt I'll be on Snapchat.
Do you have a
when I'm
LinkedIn?
50. A LinkedIn? No LinkedIns.
No.
I really should make one.
Maybe that's something that'll change for your future
Yeah.
self.
Or maybe my future self will be like, oh, you didn't even need one.
Okay.
Didn't even get one.
Where do you expect to be living, on campus or off campus, next year in senior year?
I have no idea.
Do you care?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Just with many other things.
Okay.
I feel like everything works out fine.
Anything you care about that might change? Will you have the same backpack in 2 years?
Probably.
Same
Don't
water
change
bottle.
those. I don't use water bottles really,
Yikes.
so
You should get on that.
I know it's really embarrassing actually when I pull out the plastic water bottle and you hear like that, and I just know everyone's like, oh, like I'm so far behind with this, but no.
Same glasses in 2 years?
Same glass, probably not. I lose them a ton, so
Okay.
definitely not.
You'll be probably living in the same Northville house.
Probably. I feel like this is something I'm gonna watch. I can't watch this 2 years in advance. I feel like I have to watch this like when I'm like 30, and I'm like, and like I put my kids to bed, and I'm like, okay, it's time to watch SehoPod.
I'll have to send you a reminder in
Yeah.
11 years then.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's good stuff.
Great. Awesome.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Okay.
At the end of every episode, I pray for my guest. So, Ali, could I pray for you?
Yes. Yeah. Wait.
And then camera cut. Amen.
You didn't take a breath.
I did.
You did not.
Okay.
There's not one period in that.
And we're back. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been SehoPod, episode 13 with Ali Manteiga. There was a point where you said your name was Ali, and then I was about to say something. I was like, your last name, and then you just kept talking. And then, so there'll be a point, if you've watched all the way to this point, you can go back to the beginning where she said her name, and then I was trying to say something, and then I couldn't, and then she kept going.
You're gonna have to edit that beginning part because it started off real awkward.
Yeah, I'll edit it, make it appear not awkward.
I think I said, wait, we should do the beginning again now. Say, hi, what's your name? And then you cut to this and you cut back to, ready? Say it again.
That's too much work.
Say it again.
What's your name?
Ali Manteiga.
Manteiga, yes, that's what I was waiting for.
So I'm expecting for you to cut back to this part,
Okay.
and then you can cut back.
Well, the reality is this is probably all going to be uncut and included in the conclusion.
No,
So
I'll
that's
cut
what
it for you.
Okay. Well, before you know, this will be up, and you'll just receive the link, and you can watch it with all your friends. Put on the small TV in the living room.
Ashley said she was gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. Ashley is like omnipresent.
What? Wait, I'm gonna tell her you said that.
I don't know. She always. Well, the only reason I say that is because it's really just with you and Ashley, because like like whatever is going on, like Ashley like knows like when she came to me and she's like, oh my god, this is this, and there was
But
a
we
time.
tell each other everything.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. And there was a time when like, or like there's times where like I've told her stuff and then you tell me, I'm like, what? How'd you know that? You're like, oh, Ashley told me. I'm like, oh, okay. Or like
Yeah.
when Ashley told me something, I was like, what? How do you know that? He's like, Allie told me. I was like, oh, okay. That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
If anything's told to any one of us, you know the other ones are gonna know.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Just how it is.
Any final things to say?
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me.
It was nice.
Yeah, this
It
was
was
sweet.
nice.
Again, thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed the episode. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll see you next time for episode 14, hopefully very soon.
Bye.